Good morning. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau, Samantha Perry with you here on a beautiful Friday in Hollandale Beach, kicking off a monster weekend here at Gulfstream Park. 10 races today. The big Pegasus World Cup preview card tomorrow. A slew of graded stakes, 11 races, mandatory Rainbow Six. But unfortunately, if you've got to look at us right off the bat, or at least me at least, I probably want to look at you more than me, that means we're off the turf today. The rain overnight again.
Yeah.
You were out on the track this morning, sealed and sloppy. We will start the day. I think the rain is well past us now, but
Yeah.
you were front and center this morning, and you said it was a real mess up there.
Yeah, it was. Just a lot of sitting water on the track. But our crew, we say it quite a bit that they do a good job with getting this track. It's fast. It's sunny. There's just a light breeze here today. I could imagine it'd probably stay muddy for a little bit, at least through the first half of the card.
Yeah, the first race is on the main track, so we'll just see. It'll be a work in progress throughout the day. But as Samantha said, Kenny and the crew do such a great job, and you can see it behind us now. The sunshine is finally here. It's been a heck of a really about two and a half weeks here in South Florida, unfortunately, but we should be ready to roll tomorrow on that power card. Rainbow Six, though, today, I mentioned already, it's a mandatory day tomorrow, but what was it, 2 Fridays ago when we did the same thing, somebody swept it. So that kicks off today in race number 5. We'll have $125,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee in that pool because we know comfortably higher than that. We'll ticket later on, but again, a mandatory day tomorrow on a power card. Early pick 5, though, kicks off in the opener, and those pools have been huge as well. We'll take a look at my ticket now. It's a $37.50. I had a lot of reworking today. You mentioned, what happened. I had a lot of scratches today, unfortunately. So 3 deep in the opener, back-to-back singles in race 2 and 3, and then a 5x5 late double. I would never advocate playing a 5x5 double, but
No?
in the I don't think so. Not really my jam. But in the early pick 5, that's we spread in both of those races. Race 4, the 6 sugar treat on top, and in race number 5, that is off the turf, unfortunately. Anamnestic for Kelsey Danner now, I think, really moves forward in a big way. So we'll go 5 deep in there on a $37.50. The opener is clean. Look at that super high 5, too, already about $7,000. So take note of that. That's a big pool as we draw in on first post. It's clean on a sealed and muddy main track to start things off. We've kind of got the same players in here. Samantha, you're down inside. Rita Marley is going to try the main track for the first time.
Yeah, this is a big thing.
Yeah?
A very big thing.
Okay.
We've got a stat here for reference. Union Rags, offspring of Union Rags, are 5% on turf routes. On dirt sprints, 15%. This is not a small sample. This is a huge sample. We're not reinventing the wheel here. I can't quite figure out the Union Rags and the grass angle, but here we are on the dirt for the first time and cutting back in distance as well. The Laurel race on the grass, the horse showed some speed, I think, with Edwin Gonzalez aboard and getting the rail. Maybe just try to steal this one.
Hey, listen, she doesn't have to freak on her first try on the main track to be a player against a group like this, and she says it all the time. Oftentimes a horse is going to take to the first time trying something different, they're going to blow way up. Let's show the replay of Image of Curlin, who I thought ran pretty well. Happy Alter's not really a guy that's going to pop first asking. They did bet this horse a little bit. He's way out. She is way out the back after a slow beginning. She's going to end up being beaten length and a quarter here. You can't win Tapeta sprints like this at all. I would think today she'll be a little better behaved at the start. She's bitonalist out of a Curlin mare, and you can see her trying to lug in a little bit there. She's going to actually fly late. Like I said, she's only beaten a length and a quarter here. She runs on very, very nicely.
Yep.
She's flying at the line, Samantha. Little extra half furlong to work with today. I think she's certainly a major player in this spot.
Yeah, and switching to the dirt, you look at the dirt works, and they say that she handles it just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got the 5, you have the 6, AJ's Memory in third. That will be a price. And those main track races aren't out of the mix here.
No, they're not. It's kind of just who else is there that kind of can run over a 45 buyer is what I was looking for. That's kind of the playing field here in the race that they claimed her off of when Jose D'Angelo. That would fit here, that 46 buyer.
Yeah, I mean, Shara with IRAD is 9 to 5 on the morning line. She certainly does not have to win at all.
No.
That's another reason why we both probably went outside the box. Race number 2, unfortunately, off the turf, so we go a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. It kicks off the early pick 4. These are maiden optional claimers, the 2-year-old fillies. Couple of scratches in here of the 3 Stents and Satins and the 7 on the Nile. And Samantha's got that early pick 4 ticket, which we'll take a look at now.
Yeah, and luckily some of the turf races today, Brian, I felt, and I guess you didn't really feel the same way. Well, you lost a lot, but I kind of felt like my picks kind of worked for both of them, the turf or the Tapeta, because there were some horses with proven Tapeta form trying the grass for the first time. But we'll get to this race in just a second. Race 3, I do have the 3 on top. That is Island Swagger. Race number 4, it's this big spread race for me. I have a very hard time with this race. If you want to add one more in, because now that we lost the 4, go for it, or the 5. I'm not going to do the math on that, but my top pick is the 7 on the outside top blue. And in race number 5, this is my best bet. It was the best bet on the grass, so I just want to preface it with that. But Ralph Nick's going the right way, and Rotterdam coming off a big layoff. $15.
That's a good one. $15 there for sure. I think you should get some value on any surface in that.
Right.
And that's a good one to do, because I do think that is a bit of a spread race. Now, let's get back to this one. I don't think we thought this was much of a spread race here.
Yeah.
It's the 5 or the 1. Let's go Butterfly Queen for you. This is a turf replay we're going to show you, but I still think it's worth showing.
Yeah, it is. This was a really good effort. This filly was on the rail the whole time. A nice ground-saving trip by the rider, and put her in a good spot, which was shocking to me a little bit. But she ran on really nice. This was just her first time routing, her second start ever. I can't knock anything about this. It's hard to break from the one post at Keeneland going this mile distance, and she ran very well. Now she gets Louis Saez. You think you'd put her in a little bit more forward position, but she's trying hard, and you like to see that. The Tapeta race, I will say this, at Turfway Park, totally different surface there. Wasn't the greatest effort, but this is a barn that's heated up some.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a spin over it. I think that's important, too. I mean, at Turfway, it is poly at Turfway, but it's still an all-weather surface, and she's got it under her belt now. Conversely, the 1 Flora Bunda for Todd Pletcher, who's in for a tag now, has never run over Tapeta. I mean, she's the horse to beat. Blinkers go on. She's well drawn as well, but she's got to answer the question now that we are off the turf and see what's going on on the Tapeta. You've got the 9 in second, Parallel, who I played this horse last time. She did everything.
Was a tough beat,
yeah, it was a tough beat. She did everything but win. The favorite nailed her on the line. She did all the hard work. She's dangerous if she clears.
That's the thing. She's got speed now, and she looks a lot more appealing. That this Tapeta track played quite nicely to the speed yesterday, and that should play well for her.
Yeah, it's going to be tight out there. I don't think there's any doubt about that with the rain overnight. We'll take a look at race number 3 now. We're back sprinting 5.5 on the Tapeta. This is a $50,000 starter allowance, 3-year-olds and up. Biggest probably scratch on the card. The 6 Rolling On is out 7-5 on the morning line, so any and all value, whatever way you were going, is out the window. Island Swagger, I mean, here's Brian now with a ridiculously slow horse, but hasn't seen her since December, and she's probably a lot bigger and stronger now.
Yeah, you would think so. And now the horse gets Lasix for the first time, gets Paco Lopez aboard. This is an aggressive rider. We'll put him in the race early. The distance may be a little bit concerning here, but I think this horse is a good one to play right now because he'll be fresh. So even if he's not the fastest, which I don't think he's got to be lightning fast here to make a big dent, but this is going to be the day to play whenever he's fresh.
Yeah, everything Brian Lynch has been sending out has been super live. He's got the morning line favorite in the Swanee River tomorrow on the turf. Portofino now could be, if he's ready to roll, could be about 3-5 in here because his Tapeta race, and he's only been on it once. He hasn't been out since May 20th. His Tapeta race behind Big and Classy, by the way, would blow this field apart.
It would, and I just am kind of laughing to myself because Jerry's turn ran 3rd. We're going to see Jerry's turn back on Sunday.
He's like 1 for 40.
Yeah, it took him 26 tries, I think, earlier in the year to win.
She's not exaggerating.
Yeah, but Big and Classy is just so profound after this win really skyrocketed. Well, he's got 8 wins. Yeah, I believe 8 wins.
See you tomorrow.
So, yeah, I'll see him tomorrow. So, Portofino looks set up well.
Devil's Only Friend is gonna. I think this is a little class relief. That was a good group. And Rolling On, who beat him last time. I do want to mention the 5 Cantaro because he was entered yesterday for 35. They said no, we don't want to run in that spot. We want to run for 50 in a starter that we can't get claimed out of, Jose Garofalo.
Yeah.
So just take note of that. Food for thought as well.
Yeah, Jorge Ruiz. I hope he watched the replay of the race last time because he was on the outside fence trying to stop to get popcorn.
Yes.
Paco. The horse came out of nowhere
Right.
and won. So,
right.
But this is a confident move here.
It is. It's a very confident move when you're going to run in a spot, that you can't be claimed in after you were in a spot yesterday for 35.
Yeah.
One more before the break here in race number 4. This is a good one. State Bred 1X for the 2-year-old fillies here, going 7 furlongs. Again, we'll start out sealed and muddy today. The 4 missed. A long shot was out. Well, you could go a number of different ways.
Yeah.
This was your big spread race, right? And
it is.
Yeah, and you don't even have my top pick. We'll go with you first. Top Blue for Michael Matz. You're trying to get him home twice in the early pick 5.
Yeah, Ghost Zapper daughter here, going to cut back to this 1-turn distance.
Right.
I like that. You probably are familiar with the Laurel horse more than me.
Yep.
That won that race, Kissed by an Angel, but came back to win the Maryland bred stake after that.
Yeah.
Was a low buyer. It was a 68 in that stake race, but still, this filly fits here, and I like the fact that although she didn't show it in the mile, she does have a little bit of speed.
Yeah, I just don't really get or understand why she didn't do any running last time.
Right.
The Florida breds in here, I don't want to say they're in trouble, but there's 3 open company horses, and we all have them. I've got the 6 Sugar Treat. You've got the 7. The other one is the 3 Bell's Blue Bell.
Yep.
They've been running against open company
Yeah.
out of town. They get some gals here that they could like seeing next door
Right.
in the starting gate. Sugar Treat for Mark Cassie has never run against Florida bred. She's run 1 time on a main track. It was in the Grade 3 Schuylerville at Saratoga.
Yeah, that was a way too strong,
Way too.
tough of an effort for her. She came right from here and went there.
Right.
So maybe I knocked her a little bit. She's, I think, my 5th choice because
Okay,
I
you
do
have
have
her.
her in
Yeah.
the ticket. Yeah, but I have a bad taste in my mouth with
Right.
that Schuylerville race, but
Yeah.
still, I also don't want to beat her up too much because those races she was fitting in with in Woodbine are strong.
Yeah, without a doubt, Mark. Cassie had her up there on the turf up there,
Yeah.
actually, and the fact that he's going to run her here, I think, is a positive sign. And then here's the other open company horse, the 3 Bell's Blue Bell. I mean, Carlos David firing hot here.
Yeah, big time. I know. I was trying to get cheeky and make this my long shot.
Right.
It
No,
wouldn't have
not
happened
on my
here.
watch.
Yeah, not on your watch. The 7 Top Blue is my long shot in this.
The
race.
problem with Bell's Blue Bell now, she didn't do any running in the slop last time. So
Yeah,
this-
pay attention to the track.
Yeah, this race is at 1:36 in the p.m. and like I said, you can see it behind us. We're going to dry out. The question is at what point?
How fast?
Yeah, without a doubt. So 4 down, 6 to go. When we come back, that rainbow kicks off in the 5th. It's $125,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee. Stay tuned.
They're off in the Pegasus World Cup. They're off in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And they're off in the Curlin Florida Derby. White Aborio almost home.
And Nyquist is still unbeaten. Orb and John Velasquez have won the Florida Derby.
Barbaro wins.
And there you have it. Northern Dancer will be the winner of the Florida Derby.
It's tradition. Every year, the stars gather for a spectacle. Stars of the racing world collide
What a sport! What a horse!
to cement their legacy in their quest for greatness. Bear witness as we raise the stakes and shatter the status quo. Watch as the brightest stars in fashion take the stage and we forge unforgettable memories. Be part of this storied heritage. Revel in performances from the superstars of entertainment, and the unexpected awaits you at every turn. Join us in this unrivaling celebration, where champions ascend and legends are created. This is the Pegasus World Cup, where stars align.
And we welcome you back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you, kicking off a monster weekend here in Hollandale Beach. 11 races tomorrow on a stakes-laden card. Mandatory Rainbow Six tomorrow, but we can jump the gun today here in race number 5, as someone did a couple weeks ago. $125,000 in that gross jackpot guarantee. The pool should be comfortably higher than that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a look at my ticket. I had a lot of reworking here on my stuff today. Unfortunately, we've already talked about race 5. Now in race number 6, this one was always intact. I'm going to go to the 5, Belts and Brooks here. In race number 7, I go to the 10. Now this was my long shot. Unfortunately, that's going to be out the window. There was a lot of scratches in that race, but Outlaw Country is the 10 horse in there. Race number 8 is Best Bet Time. The 5, Whatever Will Be, Will Be. Race 9, I think, opens up now that we are unfortunately off the turf with all the rain. And I go to the 2, Crystal Coast. I always did actually have Crystal Coast on top. And then in race number 6, you're going to try to beat Rod Gerard. I'm glad you are, because I have absolutely nothing clever to offer. He could be, well, boy, he could be 2 to 5 if they really send it in.
Right.
$36 on the Rainbow for me. And let's get to this race now, the 5th, because you can see it's a deep spread. I think you were kind of with me as well. We're now go a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. It's a starter optional claimer for the 3-year-olds and up. Fredo, the 2 is out. The 7, Spy Novel, is out as well. You said Rotterdam was your best bet of the day. You're going to keep at it on the Tapeta.
I'm going to keep this horse here because, like you said, it's a tricky sequence, and now it's even trickier. And I just decided to stick with it. Just first instinct here. Trying the Tapeta for the first time. Ralph Nix on an absolute tear right now. 5 for 8. It's awesome. It's good to see. He's got a condensed group of horses, which it's good sometimes because you can really pay attention to what's. Yep, exactly. So he's good with these sorts of layoffs here. The horse won over a year ago on the grass, going 2 turns. The race that he came back with was a good one too. Some layoff lines that he's been impeded with here. But now as he is about to propel into his 4-year-old career, I think it's interesting that Edgar Zayas is aboard this horse here, because Safi's got a couple, or has one live one here as well. And the way this barn is going, I think this is a good sign to keep this horse on the Tapeta. If not today, definitely bookmark this horse for next time.
Ralph is 5 for 8. Here at the championship meet, and he's 38% from a 24-horse sample off this big, long, elongated layoff. I think Rotterdam will be ready to go today, and you know, Tapeta is an unknown. I don't think there's any doubt about that, but he's also got a lot of talent. I don't think there's any doubt about that either. The horse that really, I think, moves up, and I actually put him on top after the scratches. I did not have him.
I didn't either, I
didn't have him in the mix on turf, but Anamnestic for Kelsey Danner. I mean, it's right in front of you. Look at the 2 Tapeta races. If you're not familiar with Armstrong was 4 for 4 on the Tapeta before he was second to Skyro, an older horse.
Right.
That's a good effort by Anamnestic.
Huge effort here, and this horse has just really flourished across our Tapeta surface. Maybe not ours specifically, but the all-weather surface in general. Those races were just very, very tough.
Yeah, and you got Extreme Access trying the Tapeta for Robbie Falcone and Jimmy Riccio. These are sharp connections. Robbie won a race the other day as well.
Yesterday, and Vincent Chaminade won his first one here for the meet. Yep.
What you get on Tapeta is an unknown, but the fact that, you know, I always say this too, and I think Samantha agrees, the fact that they're still in here says, you know, the barn and the connections think we're going to handle it. So we go that way. I think race 6 is tricky to kick off the late pick 5. We're going to get into it first. It's an optional claimer for the Florida breds. We scratch a long shot, Cajun Hope. Samantha's got the ticket here, and I'm interested to see what she's doing here. This is a really tricky race for a couple of different reasons. Yeah, you're spreading. I get it.
Yeah, it's a big. This is a really tough sequence here. Race 7. This is a hope in him for me. I just think that this horse, especially with the rain today, looks pretty live. Race 8, the 5 on top for me. Whatever will be, will be. A couple of scratches in that race, so I've got. I'm just leaving one of them out. 2 of them out. Race 9, the 2 I do have on top, Crystal Coast. This is filly with some speed here, or mare, pardon me. She's a mare now. I can't believe it. And in the finale, I still, maybe this is a bit counterproductive not having Rod to Rod and Double Play King in here. If you just want to go down with Rod to Rod, you could. But I like Double Play King. Good buyers. We'll get into it later, but that is my top pick. But Rod to Rod will be tough. You can make it $30 bucks.
30, look at that.
And just play one of them if you'd like.
If you don't want the 6-9 in the finale, you just go with the 6, and you got $30 in there. A horse that will be a monster favorite. We will get to it. Let's get to this one, though, because this is a tricky race for several different reasons. And I feel confident you have the right horse coming out of the December 3rd race, which we'll show you right now. And here's the key with this race that we're going to bring up with Classify, Beastly Speed, and Garuvan. Garuvan was my best bet of the day. This race was at 7 furlongs.
Mm-hmm.
This race today is not at 7 furlongs. I think that's a real problem for the two horses that run behind Classify.
Yeah, Garuvan had a very interesting trip, was not even in the picture, came picking up a lay. Oh, thank you, Bob. Thank you, guys. Classify did everything he could to get to Ensign Parker, everything in his power, and he just couldn't get there. I mean, he ran his eyeballs out. He just couldn't do it.
And that's why I wanted to show the two-part replay, how hard Classify was working. And, again, Garuvan was my best bet of the day. He didn't do any running in the race. He just passed a lot of drunk soldiers in the lane because of all the dirty work that Classify did. And Ensign Parker was on the lead the entire way. Now, Classify will have to work out a trip from the inside. But to me, the fade horses in this spot are beastly, are Garuvan. And Beastly Speed, because I think that shortening up a furlong is going to be a real problem for them. Listen, you got Belts and Brooks in there. You got to just take notice now what Carlos David is doing. He's getting new horses. He's got Louis here, and they're all firing.
Exactly. No more to be said about that.
And this horse, probably the race 2 back at a mile in September, was right on the fringe of beating this group anyway.
Right.
So we'll see what we get today. Really, really tricky and good race to kick off the late pick 5. Late pick 4 kicks off in race number 7 on the Tapeta. It's a starter optional claimer. We go that snappy 5, a slew of scratches. There's probably all these horses, the 4, 5, 6, and 7 right in a row. They probably got the overnight and said, oh my goodness, we got to face Hope in him and who's in competitive saying we don't want to run against them. Hope in him on top for you. He really gets helped by all the scratches. We like this horse and the job that Barry Croft has done with him off the claim. Is there a faster horse on the grounds on Tapeta, at least to the half mile?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. The fact that we got the rain and I was hoping for this too today, that moves him up, and I'm sure in your book as well.
Yep.
And they freshened him. And we saw this happening with him because
got a little sour.
He did. He got a little sour, and he was sound. He was fine. But then Barry Croft says, "Okay, let's give him a little break." This is a horse that I'm sure has been gave his riders hell to pay this week because every time he comes out on the track, he's breathing fire. This horse now is reunited back again with Jose Ortiz. I bet he's kind of happy to get him back aboard as well. They've got wins together, and the rain really helps this horse.
Yeah, I've said this before. He's like the golden soul of Tapeta.
He's
He's
awesome.
not going to win a Grade 1 race in
No.
the Breeders' Cup Sprint. But the point is, he outbreaks the gate by 2 to 3 lengths. Literally every start. I thought maybe he was a little vulnerable in a full field on the rail off the layoff. It's why I went. Now, a lot of that's out the window now with a slew of scratches. I did have my long shot in here.
Okay.
That is out the window, too. But Paco's aboard for his buddy Kelly Breen here on Outlaw Country. He is an unknown on the Tapeta, admittedly. They're going to fly early, and we know how good Paco is late.
Yeah, he'll be picking these horses up late. Interesting. Good Samaritan. Not a big sample, but 4 for 50 with Tapeta sprints.
He's no great shakes
Yeah.
anyway. Competitive saying is not quick enough to run with Hope in him. Me personally, I'm hoping he's at least quick enough to be a problem for him entering the far turn to get me home. Otherwise, they'll never see Hope in him again.
Exactly.
And we like him. Barry's done a good job.
Yes.
One of the good guys here.
It's good to see him back.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. And like I said, when he is right, and he is devastatingly fast. Race number 8 kicks off the late pick 3 here, 6 furlongs on the main track. It's a 35 starter optional claimer for 2-year-olds here. Scratch the 4, Cruising for Chaos. Scratch the 6. Always the 6 Lightning Clouds, my best bet, and you have whatever will be on top 2. Quickly, let's show the replay.
Yeah, because this was a really good effort by whatever will be.
Beating Jigsaw.
Yes, beating Jigsaw. Just sat behind, let him go in front. This dropped down to get this win here,
Right.
but I don't think that matters as much as just the way that he did it.
Right, and he's going to poke through on the inside just because Joe Bravo's got a whole heck of a lot of horse here, and it's time to go. And I know Jigsaw, to his credit, ran way faster than whatever will be, but I wanted to show that replay too because in theory and at least on paper, it's the exact same thing that's going to happen today. He's outside again.
Exactly. That's what you would imagine.
And I think that's a big benefit for him. Quickly, Rise My Guy would be a big price for you underneath.
Yeah, I think this horse maybe with getting back to the dirt, the Tapeta try wasn't that great. There are some races that could play in this spot and drawn well to the outside.
And a big price to maybe spice up your
Maybe.
exacta instead of the chalky one I've got there.
It's all
Race
right.
number 9, we're off the turf to kick off the late double. We'll go to $170 on the Tapeta. State bred optional claimers in here. The rail is out. The 1 Princess Blakely. Inside and outside are out because the 9 Cindy's Song scratches out too. Crystal Coast on top for both of us. Just a massive drop.
Yes.
And on the Tapeta.
Exactly. And back with state breds again. She hasn't really knocked head with state breds. The last time she did, she won.
Yep.
This is just a good, cozy spot for her. She's got some speed that Luis Saez could use if he wants to. She looks like she'll be strong here.
Provoke Me underneath. We haven't seen her since January. She's never tried the Tapeta, and you get IRAD.
Yeah. Sometimes these George Weaver's got a couple this weekend that might
Right.
be a little live. Haven't seen in a long time. Maybe needs a start, but I think
Yeah.
worth putting in.
Yeah, and she's going to be a more mature version. She's not in for a tag either. I think that's
Right.
always noteworthy off long laps. Boy, Carlos Davis done a good job with Hey Paul.
Yeah.
We didn't think she could route, or we were worried about it or skeptical. And what has she done? 1-2 in a row. She's now going for her 4th straight.
Yeah, this is very impressive, and I didn't. So this was interesting on the grass. No way for me because
No.
Bahamian Squalls 0 for 49 on turf routes. So it was a huge fade, but now I'm kind of shot myself in the foot because I didn't put her in on the Tapeta.
That's almost Union Rags-esque, isn't it?
It very.
Race 10, we'll wrap things up on this 10-race Friday card. 7 furlongs on the main, 3-year-olds and up. 3L 6250, the 1 Nature Boy, the 3 One More Score are both out. A monster favorite in Rod to Rod. But Double Play King is another dropper as well. And as you mentioned, the figures at least put him within shouting distance of Rod to Rod.
Yeah, they do. The race 2 starts back, I think, kind of messed with his head a little bit, and it was off of a little bit of a layoff from
Right.
January to October. So that was like throwing you into the deep end and say, all right, let's try without floaties here against Classic Car Wash. So that didn't work at all. Then he comes back and is okay. This is a good level for him. He hasn't seen this level in ever, actually, and drawn to the outside of Rod to Rod.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was big.
I mean, in theory, he's the main, maybe potentially / only danger. The only horse you can have in third is Capsule After. I will say this, he comes in off a win for Victor Barboza. Rod to Rod, this is the type of horse a lot of people are going to try to beat. I just kind of felt like, you know what, maybe they just want to get a W and move on. He was in for 35 last time, was a relatively close 5th. The figures just, lay over this field. There's a couple scratches in here. I'll tell you what, if at 4:34 in the PM and they're loading and he is 7 or 8 to 5, I'd be a little scared because he could be 1 to 9 now.
Yeah, he could. And to his credit, the $35,000 claiming race was a really strong race for the level.
It's
very strong.
Be the best we've ever run. I mean,
Exactly.
Desert Ruler, Noble Ruler,
Yep.
threatened $1 million, Copper Master. So
Yeah, it was just a tough bunch.
time to pick up a W today for Rod to Rod, and he's an anchor for me and probably a lot of people as well. He's one of the reasons why I kept everything pretty tight in the Rainbow and the late pick 4. Lightning round before we leave you and send it upstairs to Pete. Boy, there's a lot going on here this weekend. First and foremost, tomorrow on that Power 11 race, stakes-laden Pegasus World Cup preview card, mandatory Rainbow 6 in race number 6.
It's not easy.
Oh, my goodness, no. Not easy at all. We're going to film a video here momentarily. We'll have that out on social media. We both have tickets. Mine is a large number with a horse I think is a single and cinch at the end.
Yeah,
It's
it
still
might.
huge.
Yeah, I've got to do some reworking
Yeah.
after scratches tomorrow.
Breakfast, early day for you tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow early day. Every weekend from now on, excluding Pegasus
Right.
weekend and excluding Florida Derby weekend. Just come watch horses train, get a breakfast. You can take a little tram ride on the backside, see what goes on behind the scenes. Very fun.
And you're going to be on horseback, right?
Yes.
that the plan?
Yep.
Yeah. So you would know more than as well as anybody about what goes on in the mornings here. So check it out. It should be a lot of fun. Bring your kids as well and get to kind of be up close and personal with a not a racehorse, but
Yeah, a horse. Horses.
Beat the Expert. That's you tomorrow, right?
It is me tomorrow. Yep. Make sure to sign up. The forms are live. It'll be a very exciting day of racing tomorrow. We'll see if we can. You could pick more than me. There's a good chance you might.
Oh, I was going to say, ain't that the truth? But that was more on the exciting day tomorrow.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
about
yeah,
the-
yeah.
About the winning
It could
part,
go with
but,
both.
$500 if you're here on the line, $50 at home if you're playing along. So check the website and get involved. Your best bet today?
It is Rotterdam for me.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Ralph Nix.
My fruit is a lot lower hanging than that with whatever will be in race number 8, the 5 horse. Long shot, you still got it?
Yeah, it's Michael Matz's horse, Top Blue, in race 4.
Okay, and I still have mine, but well, maybe I will get 6-1 because
Yeah.
Hope in him and the 9 horse in there will be bet very very
Yep.
hard. But there were a bunch of scratches, and then boy, stakes galore tomorrow. Graded stakes, the Harlan's Holiday prepping for the Pegasus, the Fort Lauderdale prepping for the Pegasus World Cup Turf, and what are we going to show here? How about our old buddy O'Connor gutting it out in the Fayette at Keeneland?
Yeah, this was a really, really strong effort. We're going to talk to Safi later and hear some of his thoughts on the race. He's going to have hope for a quick pace up front. It's not going to look like on paper that he's going to get too much of it, but he's coming into this race in big form off of a layoff.
Yeah, he's 5-2 favorite on the morning line, but I'll tell you what, he doesn't have to win. You could go, my goodness, 8-9 different ways
It's a
in
tough
the
race,
Harlan's
yeah.
Holiday. What a tremendous field that they put together, and the racing office did a wonderful job on that card tomorrow. Weather looks like it's going to be kind to us, and we've got 10 of them for you today. We've got Pete upstairs with your scratches and changes. We'll be right back here for the opener shortly. Best of luck.